Hey, welcome back. Welcome back, P2P members. And Coach Brian with you. We're going to work on some lower body again today with a band. So hopefully you got your handy jump stretch with. I'm going to use a tennis ball just to mark a spot on the floor. Range of motion testing, we're just going to come back to the same spot each time today. So I'm going to go ahead and set my feet in that same spot, feet together. I'm going to stay nice and tall, reach the arms out, and then check rotation today. So we're going to just do this full body rotation, get a feel for how far right can I go. Okay, over here I'm lined up with some rock tape, and over here, if I rotate, I'm lined up with the band hanging on the wall. So hopefully you got a couple spots that you can mark in the room that you're working in, and we want to know pretty specifically how far right, how far left are you rotating. So the first movement today, fantastic to hold on to something. So if you got a stable object to hold, please do. We're going to work on lower leg rotation. So we're going to hook the ankle or the heel, really. So we're hooking the heel. We're going to come around and wrap the shin. So I'm sort of doing this circular, cylindrical wrapping of that shin. I'm going to hang on so that I don't have to focus so much on the balance. What I want to do now is with this little bit of tension on the band, I'm holding in this hand on this side, same side as the wrapped leg. I'm going to try to hold my femur or my upper leg bone still. So this stays static. Then I'm going to rotate my lower leg. And sometimes this is a weird movement at first for people, especially if you haven't done it before. It was for me. But this is also a very valuable movement in that anytime that we take a step, walking, especially if we're on an unstable surface, like if you're out hiking, we need that lower leg to be able to rock and rotate a little bit and interact with the foot, because if you can't absorb force and rotate through the shin and the ankle, that force goes into the knee. And so really healthy, important exercise for building optimal knee health and keeping the knees and hips and then even the low back healthy and safe as you're moving through the world. So if you love hiking, this is a go-to warm-up for you. This would be definitely a winner. If you're into jogging, just running out on trails or in the neighborhood even, maybe you step off a curb. We want to be able to absorb that force well, and this lower leg rotation can help you do that. So just that gentle tension on the band, I'm driving my shin in or rotating it, spiraling it in against the resistance, and then I'm letting it come back smooth and controlled with the resistance, kind of getting pulled by the band there. So same thing, we're going to hook the heel other side. You could sit down to do this if you need to. From a balance standpoint, we're going to get some nice tension there. Get that cylindrical force on the shin, lower leg, and then same thing here. We're going to rotate in and out. And yes, there are two types of setup here. You could wrap it on the outside of the heel or the inside of the heel. And based on where you hook it, that's going to change where you're kind of spiraling that force, whether you're pulling that shin to the outside or to the inside. So it may be good to come back and work on both. So in the case that I wanted to work the other way, I would just take the band, make sure it's hooked on the inside of the heel instead of the outside now. And then I'm pulling force the opposite direction where I'm helping. Now I'm pulling my shin really into internal rotation, and then I would need to fight it to go back out. So we could do both with that. And then let's retest. So go ahead and see what that did for your range of motion. And voila. There's an extra probably 10 degrees range of motion to the left, a smidge better, maybe 5 degrees to the right. So really good movement for me. That'd be a take home, definitely one that we want to keep working on consistently. The next one, we're going to get into the knees a little bit. So we got two knee circle variations today. The first one, we're going to take this jump stretch band and we're going to double it up. And to double it, you need to just kind of make an X in the middle. I'm taking my one hand and keeping it steady. I'm going to take the other hand and flip the band to make that X or figure eight kind of pattern. Then I'm going to bring the hands together, and I have a almost like double tight band, or the band is kind of doubled up on itself. So from there, we're going to go ahead. I like to put one part of the band above, one part below the kneecap. Some people will say go both above I like to just get kind of some sensory feedback right above and below the knee, so your brain gets that really nice increased awareness of, hey, where's that joint in space? Oh, if I forgot, the band is going to remind me. It's telling me right where we're trying to move. So I'm going to lunge out. I'm going to lock the knee to start, and then I'm going to bring that knee around in a circle. So this is amazing too for people that are into walking, running, hiking, any athlete really, because a lot of times we get force, the knee wants to drop in, and we're strengthening in that position using that band to do that. So, you could we're doing 5 10s today. You could go up to 50 to 100 reps on these, really, if you're got a little bit more time and you're really after more of a strength endurance kind of effect in the joint. So lock the knee, same thing. We're going to stay tall through the spine, bring that knee around through that nice circle, and go the other direction as well. Awesome work, you guys. Keep breathing. Of course, you could load up with a heavier band too. So I'm using a fairly light band today, partly to highlight on the clothing. And you can always ratchet up the band tension, and that's going to, again, build strength and produce more of that effect. Check rotation again, see where we're at. And got a little bit more to the left, a little bit more to the right. So another good take-home drill. It's giving me better flexor-extensor tone or flexor-extensor synergies in the body, allowing for that increased range of motion. From there, we're going to do a hanging knee circle. This one, today we're going to load on shoulder to foot. So same side, shoulder, make sure that's secured pretty close to the neck. We don't want it to drop down onto the shoulder joint itself. So we want to keep it up on that upper trap muscle, kind of by the neck. And then we're going to pull down, so make sure that you use your hands safely, pull down, step in with the arch of the foot. That just loads this side of the body and produces a little bit more demand and increased stability on that side of the body. We're actually going to be moving the other knee now in a hanging knee circle. So you can hold on if you want to. And we're then going to take this opposite leg or free leg through a hanging knee circle. So I want the upper leg or the femur to stay at about the same height throughout. You'll notice, even though it's a knee circle, I'm really circling my foot under the knee. The knee's not really doing a lot of movement in space. It's the joint itself is staying in about the same spot, but the joint is getting a lot of this sort of rotational force or torque going through it as I rotate that lower leg. This exercise is beautiful to couple with the first one that we did. So when we did lower leg rotations with that shin rotating and you got the band tied around the lower leg, that needs to happen in this exercise to maximize the circular movement. So we can do a few reps each direction. We go ahead, safely unhook that band from the foot, go to the other side. So we're loading, same side, shoulder to foot. Make sure the arch is always secure on there. We don't want the band to slide out, of course. And then we're going to lengthen up nice and tall, really stretching into that band, bring the knee up, and again, working on that hanging or floating knee circle. This really is nice too for the knee joint. It produces a little bit of a decompressive effect. So I find that these just feel really good. So another one where, if 5 10 reps isn't really warming things up or giving you enough work, kind of doing the exercise justice, feel free to increase the repetition on that. All right, so that's the hanging knee circle with the band. Just come back and check rotation again. Hopefully that has increased for you as well. And hopefully we got some good take-home drills. If so, jot them in that training journal. Come back, please. Use them as a warm-up before you work out, before you go out for a walk, jog, bike ride. Fantastic way to warm up, get those joints some more proprioceptive feedback, and give the brain some healthy inputs. Thanks.